about that James Conrad 17 down round at Jonesboro?
Is it real?
Well, it's real. Do you think it's replicatable?
No. Not for a while.
Lifetime.
I think it is.
Just kidding.
Of all the rounds that have been like 1100 or like Paul's 18 down or his 16 down, I think James's was, and this is kind of more towards the course, he was kind of just cruising. He wasn't doing anything special, I guess is my point.
What do you
mean?
He
didn't do special throw-ins or anything. He just played his game. He birdied almost every hole. He didn't do anything miraculous.
He birdied all the holes and then eagled the one hole that's eagleable that are birdieable. 14 and 5 aren't really birdies. Most people in the field aren't going for those holes, and if they do get them, it's a very small portion. He played
a perfect game.
Perfect.
He played a perfect game.
I think,
but on a course that wasn't extremely hard
that's like
to
bowling
do that.
a 300. Dude.
People bowl 300s all the time.
Okay, so it's like bowling a 900.
I would say what he did was way better than bowling a 300 personally.
Oh, for sure.
But
okay, how about this?
I would say that round that he
Paul's
threw.
18
Hold
down.
on. I would say the round that he threw is probably in the top 5, if definitely the top 10 rounds ever played in disc golf.
Oh, I'm not denying him that.
But for Paul's 18 down at like Toboggan, up there with it. His 17 or 18 down, wherever he shot at Fountain Hills, that one's better. Fountain Hills is the definition of textbook Hyzer shots for the most part, and if you just don't get any bad skips, elite players are gonna be in the circle every time.
So you think Paul's at Fountain Hills was easier to do than James's 17?
I think the one there is more repeatable, just because I feel like the weather at Jonesboro is never what we saw the first 2 days.
So very weather dependent there.
And it's very much closer to the weather we saw on the last day.
Right.
And that's what's expected. That's why the course is built that way. The course is wind dependent to create difficulty.
So maybe that's an argument from my point that if the wind is down, 17 is very doable.
I don't say it's not.
I wouldn't say very doable because the course
comparatively,
the odds go up.
Round.
Yes, the odds go up as the wind goes down.
But hold up, the course record was set at 14 down for like 5 years.
Yeah, Garrett Gerthy.
What was that, a non-windy round? Anybody remember that?
Either way, you beat the thing is, the people that are playing these tournaments are the best of the best of the best, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if that record stood for that long, with the amount of players we have, the amount of new players coming in that are more athletic than the players in the early 2000s, I think that it would have already been beaten if it was that easy to shred there.
Well, I think you're still arguing for me. People are getting better every year, so it's going to just more likely to happen again every year if the skill level of the field keeps getting better.
Yeah, but it would have been either tied or broken last year, I feel like. At least tied, if people are getting better.
Okay. Fair point.
I mean, because the first day we had a couple 13 downs in absolutely perfect conditions. You know what I mean? They didn't hit the course record that day. So, I feel like day 1 was a really good example of how good we are. We had, 20-ish people in double digits? Between 10 and 13?
Oh, easily, yeah.
And so, that just shows that margin is, once you get to that 10, it's so much harder to get above that.
I just feel like, even those 13 downs, I guarantee you go up to any of those players and you ask them how their round went. I'll obviously tell you went fantastic, but I probably could have got, I missed a long circle 1 putt here. I had a bad drive here.
Yeah.
So, easily 2 or 3 small tweaks, you go from 13 to 60. And that's right there.
Yeah, and that's why I don't think it's that possible, because every single time you walk off the round, you always have at least a couple strokes that you can do better. How many times have you walked off the course and been I threw all the shots I wanted?
Plus, he hit every single putt outside the circle.
Right. It was a Conrad country.
His putter only hit the ground once. One time.
Pretty good.
From circle 2.
Because he was not in position.
And he took a par. Yeah, and that's a great point, actually. Thank you, Isaac. He wasn't in position, so that shouldn't count as a putt. There should be a layup stat for something like that.
Yeah.
Why is his putting stats brought down? Because he chose to do a different move that was a strategy for him for that hole.
So you're saying if their intention isn't even to make it, it shouldn't count as a miss?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And then you should get a check mark, just like a scramble, if you lay up and then make your par.
Like
or
a successful attempt to stat or whatever you call it.
Yeah. Because like you get a scramble stat or whatever for like getting off the rough and getting your par. I think that'd be very similar.
Yeah, I think that makes total sense. How do you feel about the ability to step putt outside of circle 1 versus inside circle 1? You think that's a good distance? You think that's a good rule change inside and outside the circle?
I think over the time it'll change. Our sport's evolving, like you said.
I
And
think it could widen.
Yeah.
I think
How far do you think it should
I think
go?
it'll get to 60.
Yeah, 60 is as far as it should ever get.
Like whereas inside 60 feet you're not able to jump. Or you're not able to follow through
Right.
of your mini or your mark.
I think that makes sense because I feel like the original intention was that if you're outside of circle 1, when the sport first started, it was literally hard to get the disc to the basket standing still.
Yeah.
But people are either getting stronger or just more
The form,
fine-tuned
man.
form
Yeah.
that they can. I mean, I think Paul really doesn't step putt inside 50 anymore. We saw, I don't know, 2 tournaments ago, whatever it was, he was nailing them from 45, 50 feet standstills.
But then you got people that can just...
Yeah, I mean, Corey Ellis is standstilling from 90 feet. So,
And
like,
the other end of the spectrum, I think we've seen like Kevin Jones or especially James Conrad, you get it to 33.5 feet, and then they're step putting into the circle.
And they're halfway there.
And especially James Conrad, halfway there by the time he makes it.
Yeah.
Basically
Or
just has to
Gannon
let
Murray,
go.
he's got a nice step.
Oh yeah,
but
Gannon
like,
too.
tall and lanky, it'll be halfway through the circle and
Yeah.
put it right in.
James Conrad should just do his run up and then just jump halfway there, and Michael Jordan it into the basket.